Yes. All right, we are live, everybody. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield in the News Channel 9 digital streaming studio. And of course, we're bringing you information about the union vote at Volkswagen today. It's a little after 8 o'clock, and the polls, if you will, have closed. And they wait for the tally, wait for the vote to unionize or not to unionize. Mary Beth Mangrum is following the story for us tonight. We're going to go to her live. A lot of people, of course, watching this story locally and nationally, including here locally, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the IBEW, is actually hosting a watch party, Mary Beth.
Yeah, and I'm here at that watch party. We've got plenty of people coming in, and there should. It looks like the vote just ended. It's 8:03 right now. That vote cutoff time was 8 p.m. And this vote, it began back on Monday at 4:45 a.m. It's been going on throughout the week. It's finally just ended. This was a secret ballot, and it took place inside of the Volkswagen plant. And this election, it was run by the National Labor Relations Board. And the board tells us that they hope to have some results for us by either 10 p.m. in between all the way to midnight. So right now we're just waiting.
All right, there we go. You're still with us, Mary Beth. I'm trying to keep us together here. I know, I appreciate you being there for
absolutely.
us. You know, we were talking earlier, the ground was broken for the Volkswagen Chattanooga plant in 2009. And then, as we both know, that they've tried to unionize that plant twice in 2014 and 2019. How about a little background on those two votes?
Right. So both of those votes ended up being unsuccessful. In 2014, employees did vote not to join the UAW. UAW union officials, they then filed objections with the NLRB asking to overturn those election results because they were very close to what they needed, which is 50% plus one. And after they filed that complaint, they ended up having 5 VW workers who were represented by the Right to Work Foundation. They had attorneys free of charge who successfully moved to intervene the UAW's challenge of those election results. Excuse me.
Right now, a lot of people have been talking to about the economic impact that this has had in this area, and if they vote to unionize versus whether they vote not to unionize. And Lexi Horvath ran a package on that, Mary Beth, earlier this evening. We're going to go ahead and play that. We ran it during our 6 o'clock newscast tonight. Here's Lexi Horvath.
Joining us, I'm AC Barker.
And I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. 52% of VW workers voted against unionizing in 2019, but the workforce has more than doubled since then. The UAW is also coming off a negotiating victory with GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Large-scale strikes last year helped workers get significant pay raises.
Volkswagen gave workers a pay increase of their own late last year, but some employees say it was not enough. If enough of them vote yes, it will be the first U.S. automaker to unionize in nearly 50 years.
News Channel 9's Lexi Horvath begins our team coverage tonight. She shares how we got to this point and what both sides are saying and how this will impact VW customers. Lexi.
Kim, AC, after 2 failed attempts at a 10-year effort, 4,300 workers at Chattanooga's Volkswagen plant could be just moments away from a unionization. A local economic expert tells me the outcome from tonight's vote could be felt nationwide.
The UAW is definitely a more confrontational unit.
As the Volkswagen votes are being tallied tonight,
there won't be radical differences, but over time, you'll see that they might get a new contract with different terms.
UTC economic professor Howard Wall says for the time being, not much will change.
It's really like long-term plans for Volkswagen on whether they expand. You know, they have a choice of where to produce things, where to, open new factories, or where to, say, bring other types of operations.
But after a failed attempt of unionization back in 2014,
the city of Detroit has been affected very negatively by the UAW, big things that they've done. We don't want that in Chattanooga.
And then again in 2019.
I have a great job. I have great insurance. I'm taken care of. I'm able to pay my bills.
One UAW worker says she expects voting results to go a different way this year.
We will have our union. and it will be announced Friday.
In order to join the United Auto Workers, a 50% plus one vote is needed. Back in 2014, 47% of workers voted yes, and in 2019, 48% voted yes.
I believe it would be a big mistake for those workers to risk their future by giving up the freedom to decide it themselves and to hand that over to a negotiator on their behalf.
Last fall, Volkswagen raised factory pay by 11%, increasing top wages to around $29 an hour, or about $60,000 a year. But under the UAW contracts, top production workers at GM earned $36 an hour, or about $75,000 a year.
I mean, there are some positive things you can get, like greater training or that sort of stuff, but all in all, efficiency gains are not what they're about.
Volkswagen has said in statements that it supports the right to vote on union representation, but is staying neutral in the election. They are urging workers to vote however they want. Kim?
All right, Lexi Horvath, thank you very much for that story. We appreciate it. And again, it's a little after 8 o'clock. The voting has closed at Volkswagen Chattanooga with whether to unionize or not to unionize. Third time they're trying to do this at Volkswagen Chattanooga. And as you heard in Lexi's story, Mary Beth, that the governor, as we've reported to, Governor Lee, does not want the plant to unionize. He's encouraging people, as are local politicians, to say no. And you've spoken with a couple of people who have a different vibe than that. Tell us about that.
Right. Yeah. So back in the beginning of April, during Mayor Womp's press conference, where he and other elected officials openly opposed the UAW and their attempt to unionize here at Volkswagen, I spoke with Isaac Meadows, who's a current Volkswagen employee, and he told me that in comparison to the 2014 and 2019 elections, it seems like this one just has a much different feeling to it. They're feeling more confident.
This is my first campaign with them, but from the people I have talked to who have been here from the previous ones, they say this one's totally different. The environment's different, the atmosphere is different. It's just they're much more hopeful and positive for this one.
And Isaac wasn't the only employee I talked to. I spoke with Avery Vandergriff, who's also a current Volkswagen employee, and I asked him, what his hopes are for tonight's election, what he hopes the results will be. And he told me in a quote, he said, "We are Volkswagen. We operate a first-class plant, and our workmanship is known around the world. This week, we are standing together to make our voices heard."
All right, Mary Beth Mangrum, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. It is 8:10 and the votes are being counted. We're told that they could be done right by between 10 at midnight. That's what we're thinking.
Right, yeah.
And
that's our goal.
Yeah, and there's certainly a different vibe at the plant tonight. Of course, News Channel 9 will be here live in our digital streaming studio. Mary Beth Mangrum out there live at the watch party hosted by the IBEW. Now we sit and we wait. Mary Beth, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Don't forget to stay on air.
Of course. Thank you, Kim. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated with new information as soon as we get it.
All right, Mary Beth, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And we need to say thank you to Sam Burgess, who's our digital producer tonight. We will be here for you all night. Anything new, anything changes, you can depend on us right here, newschannel9.com, our digital streaming video that you can see through all of our social media platforms. Stay with us. We are here for you, and we will be back soon.